Hello and welcome. This is Chris-Ann and I'm coming at you from Elemental Energies with Chris-Ann. Today we are continuing the hashtag ABC April 2025 challenge put out by Margaret of Seven Plaza and Tony of Crafty by Tony. Today is letter U. So for letter U, we are going to be upcycling a CD, an old CD. So we are going to be upcycling this. We are going to be turning it into like, not quite a book, but it could be used as a book, journaling spot, but we're going to be using fairy stamps from my absolute favorite rubber stamp company, Lavinia Stamps. So we are going to turn this into a little fairy wonderland that you can open up and inside have journaling. You could even use this as a card. You can use it as a card. You can use it as a book. You can use it as a journaling spot in your journal. You can use it as a tuck in your journal. You can glue it into your journal directly. Whether you're doing art journaling, junk journaling, or scrapbooking, this can be used for all of the above. And I do all of the above. So we are upcycling an old CD. Years and years and years ago, I used to make CD books. I'm going to be doing some CD books very shortly because I did a video. I haven't published it yet because I'm doing this ABC challenge, but as soon as this is done, I'm going to publish my haul that I got when I went to my local dump recycle center. We went to like the Goodwill. We went to a mom and pop secondhand store. We went to a lot of shops like a week or two ago. And I found at my dump / recycle center a stack of CDs. They were just chucked in a drawer. Clearly they're crap. They're destroyed. These were just going to get thrown out. I mean, they were getting ready to throw them out because somebody just chucked them in a drawer thinking somebody would want them, but only somebody like me would want them. So we're going to upcycle this one. I have a whole bunch of these. I will be doing books with these in the coming months. And I might do them very comparable to this, but I'm going to do all different styles. So today, let's get started. So I have a whole bunch of stamps here. Let me start by showing the stamps. We're going to do a couple versions. So I have this stamp, don't ask me the names. I don't have the packaging anymore. I put them in a book and I keep them stuck in a book. So I don't know the names of these. But you can go to Lavinia Stamps. These are older, like quite a few years back from that release. They're not from any new release from Lavinia Stamps. These are what I have here at my desk. These are what we're going to be using. And I have like a huge book of Lavinia Stamps because they are hands down my favorite stamps. And then I have this stencil. If you watched me before, you know I use this stencil all the time. It's a Lavinia Stamp stencil. We are going to be using Lavinia Stamp inks, as well as the black VersaFine Nocturne and white cardstock. My typical glue that I use, art glitter glue, all that fun stuff. So let me temporarily move this because I want to show you how we get all the bits and pieces that we're going to be doing. So first off, what you need is you need a circle. I'm going to do this here so you can see, since I'm doing white on white, you can't see it very well. You're going to need a circle to cover the front or back, whatever you so choose to do first, on your CD. All I did was held it in place, cut around with my really large scissors. I am not the best cutter outer. You can see I'm good at fussy cutting, but to get, I probably should have dug out my circle. I have a larger circle cutter. I probably, in all honesty, should have dug that out. When I go to do the books, I'll do that. The other thing I did is I took a piece of paper, folded it in half, took the crease, and I put it approximately there on my CD, a bigger piece of paper. And then I flipped it upside down much bigger piece of paper, and I cut around. I held and cut. You want to clip and cut, go ahead. And that's what gave me this piece. Let's move this out of the way. So I have this piece that is going to go on the back. There's our book. This piece that's going to go on our front. So that's what we have. I thought this was sort of basic and self-explanatory. You didn't need me to actually demo it. So I have these already done. So folded it in half, white cardstock, held it approximately there, and cut it around. That's how I got it connected. Easy peasy. Okay, now let's decorate this. So I have a couple pieces of paper I've been working on, and I'm trying to cut down on the glare on my glass mat. This will be, visually, you'll be able to see it very shortly. So we're going to be using some of the Lavinia stamp inks as well. They're some of my favorite inks. Let's see. So we're going to be, where's my blue? My blue. There it is. Okay. My mermaid. So we're going to be doing mermaid, mulberry, Sahara, and pine are our primary ones. Let's get rid of olive. I keep them right here, handy. So I want to start by doing the sky. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do the sky. You can use like these brushes. If you want to do the sky, you can use makeup brushes. I use these in my Elements ink pads, and I use these in my VersaFine Clairs. And in all honesty, this might have enough ink on it. Oh, it does, actually, because I don't want it super dark. So all I'm going to do is I work in a swirl motion. These are makeup sponges that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm working in a swirling motion. I have enough ink. I always pretty much have enough ink on my stuff, on my brushes, on my sponges. Now, if you notice, I am concentrating on the outside and just barely coming into the inside. I'm leaving a little bit of white space. Now I want to come in and I want to do the grass. And I had a piece of paper for that. For the grass, I like to create a stencil. Lavinia Stamp sells stencils. I have stencils from them. They are fantastic. But this is what you do if you don't have a stencil. Take a piece of leftover upcycled cardstock. You can tear it. Throw this away because I don't need that. I'm going to do the other one just to show you. I can do a little bit more on the idea of hills and valleys. You can keep that and use that. This is going to be a stencil. Let's start with the hills and valleys. And let me find my center point here. Okay, I like this as my center point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to turn this so it's easier for me. Here's my green. Let me see if I have enough on that. Yeah, I think I have enough on that. So I'm going to come darker than I did with the blue. And I'm keeping right against this. My sponge kind of sheds a little bit. That's what that is. There. I still maintain that a little bit of that white. If I wanted to, I could come around and now use this stencil. I am stenciling off the stencil. I'm not stenciling up from the stencil. So let's see. Let's place this approximately here. And I'm concentrating here on this white. And I'm doing my swirling again. I'm not bringing it fully down because I want to create my layers. You see how it moves down, it gets a little lighter. I want that. I am going to move my stencil. Let's see, we'll move it this way. So it doesn't look the same here and then the same here. I want it like offset. And at this point, I'm going to fill in everything. There. All of my sort of ridges and horizon lines look different. That's what I want. That's what I like. Visually, that works for me. I have had these pieces of papers that I have used like 20, 30 different cards that I've made. Yes, the stencil is nice. And I am going to be doing a video very shortly on making your own stencils. I have done one a long time ago. We're going to do a different one. We're going to do a better one. Okay, so I have this so far. This is my base. Whether I'm doing a card, I'm doing this upcycled project, I'm doing whatever. This same technique is totally transferable to anything. Okay, we are going to be using my Hero Arts Misty. I hardly ever use my Misty in my videos, but when I use my Lavinia stamps, I use my Misty. This is a magnet, so that will hold that there. If you've never seen a Misty before, this is like a big old rubber stamp block. This holds my stamping surface here. This is just paper. I can rip them away. I'm just too cheap to take away the dirty ones. That's all. And then I can come in with, and in this case, I want to use this stamp as my larger stamp. I can come in with my focal stamps. I just want to make sure it's nice and clean. And what I do, see, I already got ink here from something. What I do is I place, should we cover that? Let's cover that little smudge. I place where I want my stamp to go. I like my stamp right there. I close the lid. I smush it down. Now my stamp is attached to the lid of the Misty. You can see I still have some residual ink there. It's not a big deal. I am going to try and move this where you can see it. I'm grabbing my Nocturne. You might not be able to see this fully, but I'll talk about it. So I'm gently inking my stamp. These are what's called a silhouette stamp, meaning it's a full sort of blackout stamp on the little fairy body is solid. It's fully solid. I am carefully inking this because I don't, oh, there you go. You can see it better. Sorry. Because I don't want to get ink like all over here. I am tapping. I can come and do a swipe, but every time I do a swipe, I come over and tap over it because I want to even out the line of the ink being pushed onto the stamp. I want to smooth it out. Okay, that's a lot of ink on that stamp. Let me put this stamp pad away. This is a brand new stamp pad. So what we did, where's my... I just had my smusher. Oh, well. We'll go without it. Gently put this down. And if I had my smusher that I used the other day, I just rub it right over this. Let me give this a push while I see if my... Oh, here's my smusher. Yay, I do have it right here. My stamp smusher thing. This, in theory, helps with hand fatigue. Does it really? I don't know. The benefit with using the MISTI. My paper is being held down with a magnet. In theory, when I go to lift this up, my paper is still going to be held down with a magnet. If this wasn't fully stamped, I can re-ink my stamp and press it back down again because this is still holding it down. This is one of those really, really strong magnets. I'm really happy with that stamping. I think that stamping looks really good. I'm happy with the coverage. I'm happy with all of that. One thing I am going to do is I am going to take my cloth and I'm going to give my stamp a wipe. If I was mass making these, I would draw a line on my paper of where I had my circle. I would put my circles back in the exact same spot, leave my stamp where it is, so I can keep coming and stamping and mass making these. When I come in and I do a card, I make sure, like let's just say for instance, I'm going to line my card up down here. I find a spot on my MISTI and I line it up in that same spot, and that's how I mass make. Let's just say we're doing Christmas cards. That's something that you typically mass make. This is possible for that. I'm going to leave the stamp in here for conversation's sake, but that's the MISTI. I love my MISTI. I don't use it for a lot of the other rubber stamp companies because most of my other rubber stamps, even like here's a bigger one, I don't care about getting full coverage from this stamp. I'm only caring about getting like an impression of this stamp. But if I wanted to get like full coverage, especially for my Lavinia stamps, I do use that for my larger Lavinia stamps. My smaller Lavinia stamps that you're going to see in 2 seconds, I don't care. All right, so let's bring this back over here. And I have this one that I want to use. When these stamps lose sticky on the back, just run it underwater, and that will clean away some of the dust and stuff that's there on your stamp. Like the dragonfly, I use the dragonfly a lot. So that one, I typically have to make sure it's nice and clean. Cassie Rose is in the other room, and she is less than 10 pounds on guard duty, you know. Okay, I want to give a little bit more visual interest to this. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to come in. Oh, the neighbor's dog is barking too. Yeah. I am going to come in with my stencil. Let's see if I have ink on this. So let me get a little bit of the mermaid. This is a slightly different color than what was on my... There was a couple colors mixed on that sponge that I used, this being one of them. And the blue from VersaFine. Okay, I want to make sure this is light. And I don't like those little lines in it. So I'm smushing it off over here. Now, I want to come in and give a hint of a visual texture in the background. I'm only doing the sky. I'm not going to come in and do the foreground. Let's give it a check. Oh, love it. Yes. Almost has a hint of green. I might need to come in and clean that up a little bit, but you know what? What we're going to do next, we'll fix that. Love it. Okay, we are going to come in and we're going to stamp with pine. And we're just building up all the layers. I'm not paid by Lavinia Stamps. These are not sponsored. I pay for them 100% myself. But these are so fun to layer with. They are really, really fun. She is a genius with the stuff that she creates. I just want to clean this off and then I want to re-ink it. I don't like how I got ink everywhere here. Between the stencils and the different types of stamps that she has, the fairies I just adore. And her animals are just wonderful. We're going to be using those in future projects. And then I'm going to give this a little bit of a huff. That sort of moistens the ink. I stamp this. Normally, I don't do a second stamp impression, but when you do, oh, I didn't have enough ink on it. It puts it in the background, but you can barely see it. I am going to come in and do a first generation stamping. There. Sometimes for the foliage and stuff at the bottom, I like to do first and second generation stamping, and that's kind of covering up some of that stencil. There. I want a little something right here. There. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, now we want to do the dragonfly. Let me wipe this off. I just give it a wipe with my cloth here, and that's sufficient for me. Typically, I use the same colors with each of these stamps. Like, I typically will do all the fairies in black. I typically will do this in some sort of a green. This I typically do in black as well. I do make sure these are down really well, especially these little guys. Make sure that's fully inked, and it is. A good rule of thumb when you're working with Lavinia stamps or any silhouette stamp, if you hold the stamp down, count to a few seconds, you're having the stamp make connection with the paper, the ink make the connection with the paper, and it becomes saturated in. There. Should we do another one over here? I do like threes. Yeah. Let's do another one. Could have just done one. Oh, but that's pretty. Let me clean this off with my cloth. There. And then let me grab this stamp and this stamp. Do I need this black? Yep. So she has a whole bunch of different word stamps. And this is beautiful, like this. We're going to add a little bit more visual interest. And I do not want first generation ink on this. There. Isn't that pretty? Just all different word stamps. She's a whole line of dragons. We will be using those too. And dragon words, and love it. And then there are times that I come in and I add some greenery coming down. I don't know that I'm going to do that in this one, actually. I kind of... Should we do the green? All right, we'll do the green. Let me grab that other green, which is not this one. Oh, there it is. I know, my arm's in the way. Okay. This is another one I make sure gets down. Now, I'm not going to use the whole stamp. Oh, this isn't. All right, there we go. There are times that I overstamp. I give it a little bit of a huff. Clean up my stamp. Oh, I really overstamped that one. I tipped it. Let me start over. I overstamped it again, but that's okay. Let's just be careful when we go to ink. I am a more is more person. There. Let me clean this off. I don't know, you may have liked it 2 steps ago better, or 3 steps ago better. I'm just showing you all the different steps that you can do. Now, one of my favorite things to do, oh, we never did use the yellow. That's okay. We're going to come in and use this one, or let me see. I have my other one right here. Hold on, let me look. Oh, this is the one I want. Monarch. Let's do that one. And these are my VersaFine Clairs. I have them stacked right over here. So let's move this one. And then let's, where is it? Okay, I have a new brush here, a new sponge, I mean. So I'll show you how I add ink to it. I had a purple one. Do not ask me where it went. I probably had like 2 purple ones. And I just sort of do circles. I'm going to clean up this ink pad with different areas of my sponge. There. Looked like ink was kind of getting all over the place. So now let me come back in and give it a nice swirl. Let me test it. I'm happy with that. Next thing I want to do is clean off my hands. I'm just kind of wiping them on my cloth over here. I'm going to wipe them on my pants too. Yeah. Mostly good. Because I am going to be handling this. And you're just coming in and touching the edges. Trying to keep an even amount going around. Sometimes easier said than done. It brings your eye right in. Now, because we're doing a book, I'm gonna do something comparable over here. Kind of looks like a hot mess, but that's okay. Oop. A little too overzealous right there, but that's okay. Yeah, see, my fingerprints are getting everywhere. And if that's the case, I can come in and sponge the inside. There. And then, because this is the inside, where'd my dragonfly go? Oh, here he is. Just to kind of keep a little bit of consistency between the outside and the inside. We'll do that. Let's clean this off. Put that away. Now, there's still some more things that I want to do to this, but I want to glue it first. Then I'll do the other things. Now, it doesn't matter how I hold this. You're not going to see it. But I want to glue, and I can fix that too later on by inking. Or I can glue this right inside my journal. I might be gluing this right inside my journal. I debated using this glue or Aleene's tacky glue, the original tacky glue. I am going to give this a try first. If this doesn't hold, as in I'll come back and check it in a day or two. If it doesn't hold, I will come back and I will go over it with Aleene's. Just so you know, that's my sort of go-to order of potential glues. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And because that opens like that, I want this to go on here like this. I have done cards. I have done matted and framed pieces. These are what I give if I need to give like a matted and framed, or I want to give a matted and framed gift. These stamps are my go-to. This is clean. So I'm just going to rub the glue with this. There. There's my upcycled CD. Should we call it a mini book? I don't know. Okay, I want to do some more stuff. And Let's see. These are all my options. So I have my Jelly Roll Sakuras. I have my Wink of Stellas. And then I have my Studio G glitter glue. You can use whatever. You can use all of these, none of these, some of the above, whatever works for you. These are going to roll. Now, I want to see which one is which. And I like to test it. Yep. I come in and I do glitter on the wings. Whatever product you want to use, whatever product you have. And if you can see, I'm not fully doing the wing. This is going to get purple on my hand. I'm not fully doing the wing. I'm doing the left-hand side of each and every, it kind of looks like a butterfly wing, each and every segment. I know it's really hard to see this on camera. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think you can see that. So there's that glitter that's there. I have my Wink of Stella, which I absolutely love, Wink of Stella. Move this. I'm going to come in and do my Wink of Stella over the dragonfly wings. This one does not show up on camera overly great compared to how it looks in person. It's just stunning. I typically like the not in your face kind of color ones when I'm doing stuff like this. You know, like I like this one as opposed to the blue Wink of Stella. And this has a paintbrush tip on the end. So I'm just kind of painting the glitter. And then I want to come in, and I want to do like a little bit on the end of each one of these sort of petals. Since these are stamped in black, it pops in real life. In real life, the glitter, ooh, it just adds so much beauty. Can you see that? I'm just going to keep twirling it and hopefully the light will catch it. And I am good with calling this good. So this is an upcycled fairy CD book. Should we call it a mini book? Upcycled fairy CD mini book. But by the end of the video, I eventually come up with a with a title. So there, I hope that gives you a little bit of inspiration. All of the Lavinia Stamp products can be found. If you're in the UK, you can go to Lavinia Stamps directly. She has a fantastic website. She's on Instagram as well. She's on Facebook, all the places, you know, showing demos of her stuff. If you are in the United States, once again, I'm not getting paid for this, but if you're in the United States, you can go to Patty Del Bellows. She has a whole line of Lavinia stamps. Like she's a like a certified retailer for Lavinia stamps stateside, so you don't have to pay or wait for the shipping from the UK. If you're in the United States, I highly recommend ordering from Patty. She gets them directly from Lavinia Stamps. She is a very, very kind, nice woman, so check her out too. She is not the person that is on Amazon, to my knowledge. I have ordered from Patty's website, and things get to me very quickly. very well packaged, very, very kind. She's got all the stuff. So check out Patty. And cool. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check out my website, elementalenergieswithchrisanne.com. My deck is available for pre-order. It is an oracle deck with 78 cards in the deck, and it is fairies and angels, etc., and animals and all my nature fun things in the deck. So check that out for pre-order. And please subscribe to my channel. That would really help me out. I would like to be doing some YouTube lives, and I can't do that unless I get more subscribers. So please help me out. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to my videos. I would really appreciate it. And thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Be free.